Hey guys, it's your boy Professional Gogeta Dick Rider here. I'm making this video because someone commented this, and I was like, sure, why not, right? Let me make a guide on PvP. Because I'll make a video on whatever someone comments. If someone told me, yo, can you run a team that's just all Pycons, I would. If someone was like, yo, can you run a team that's just all heroes, and I don't mean like 3 heroes and then just sparking on the bench to boost the hero units. No, I mean just a full hero team, like all 6 units are heroes. I would do that, because why not, right? I want to have fun with this game. I don't take this game's PvP system seriously because it's all based on RNG, which is a critique in a video that I'm making, because after the Dokkan video, I was supposed to make a Legends video, but then the full power battle thing came out, and I was like, you know, well, fuck it, why not? Let's make a video on that. So after this video, that video will come out like on, today's Wednesday, so it'll come out like Friday, Saturday. But yeah, enough of that. Before, disclaimer, before I talk about this shit, I just want to say that I am not a professional Legends player by all means. I have not hit top 1k ever. I've never been to rank 70. I consider myself an above average player, maybe slightly above average. See, I'm just saying that if you don't like this advice, go watch a different YouTube video. No one's forcing you to watch this one. If you don't like this, go into the comments, type out, hey, crowd TYT, I didn't like this video because so yeah. This is really isn't a beginner guide. This really isn't like an advanced guide. I'm just listing off general things that are just nice to know, things that you might have like done on mistake. But the first part of this video is talking about things that aren't involving PvP, but things that are important before you hop into PvP. And so here's a timestamp for when I start talking about PvP and showing examples from the matches that are currently playing in the background about things that I've done on accident. I accidentally just fucking yanked out my cord, so now I have no idea what my audio sounded like in that section. Hopefully it sounds fine. But yeah, with that being said, point number 1, team setup. Before getting into PvP, you really have to consider the team that you're running, because some teams will literally have an easier and better time than other teams. For an example, as of right now, LOE and Godkey and Future are dominating. Oh, and Androids too. They are dominating PvP, especially Godkey though, because that seems to be like what the top players are running. Is mainly Godkey, which is the Super Saiyan Blue, Zenkai Vegeta, Vados, and Kaioken Goku setup. So yeah, you have to consider the team that you're running, because some teams will have an easier time than others. Let's say you're running Dragon Ball Saga. Dragon Ball Saga can probably carry you up to like rank 40, rank 50 if we're pushing it, but after that, you will be getting your ass swept on. Meanwhile, if you're running LOE, if you know what you're doing with the team, you can blast your way up to rank 70. So PvP is really all about the team that you're running. And another important thing about the team is, well, my second point, the equipment for those units. Now, I want to say equipment is really an important thing, because it can make your, like, if your unit is like a tanky beast, putting more defensive equipment on them could be a nice thing, because then you have them as your tank. Like, they're your wall. You put them in front of anything and they're taking it like nothing, you know? And so yeah, equipment is really important. And you know how equipment is really important? Let me point out 2 units that benefited from getting 1 platinum equip: Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Perfect Cell. The second both of those units, especially Perfect Cell, got their platinum equip, that was a terrible whistle. They got really fucking better. I can say this as a man with a 7-star LF Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. That guy without his platinum equip hits, I don't know how well he would do. I'm just assuming he doesn't hit as hard, because all the shit he gets from his platinum equip is ridiculous, especially from his 3rd slot, that if you KO a character with a revival, like force him into the revival, he gains 50% damage that cannot be canceled. I have spent over 500 eraser slots on that 30 unique, and I still haven't gotten it past the 2 Dragon Balls thingy. So yeah, that's fucking great. And for LF Perfect Cell, everybody was thrashing on that man. He got a platinum equip, boom. All of a sudden, he's a must-need on androids. Like, you must run him, you know? So yeah, equipment is important, and the type of equipment you use, like, here's an example, like 5% to like fusion, to strike and blast damage per fusion battle member. That's nice, because then that's an extra, I think it includes yourself, but it's battle member, so that's 15%. Sorry for that. So that's really good. And so for equipment, you genuinely look for pure based equipment, like pure blast damage, pure strike damage, one that doesn't say this type of text, but instead has the text that I just said before, like the fusion where it's striking blast, blah blah blah. You want to have 2 of those, and then one that has the other version of it the way it's written. Editing me, I hope you make this all look like I'm talking sense. So yeah, Point number 3, the meta. Be aware of what the meta is. Currently, the meta right now, I believe, is God Key, Future / Androids. No, it's Future mixed with Androids and LOE. Those are the top teams right now. So knowing what the most ranked units on those teams can do is really helpful. Because then if you bump into that team, you don't have to look over their kit. You're like, oh, I know Kalkin Goku when his unique gauge filled, boom, he fucking like has his vanish back. Oh, I know that when this unit pops their main ability, boom, they get a green card, and their green card's in AoE. Oh, when this unit pops their blue card, they have blast armor and they destroy all my cards. Shit like that. So knowing what a unit can do is really helpful. So knowing what the meta units can do, like what the units in high, like what the players are running in high rank can do, does give you an extra advantage. Because then you're not running in there blind. Like you don't know if they lock you in when they swap in. You don't know if they lock your cards when they swap in. You don't know what their green card does to you. You don't know if they like get like extra damage, you know. And so it's nice to know. So yeah. Now we're on to the PvP section. Whether you watched your way through here or you just skipped to this point, you're finally here. Congratulations. I'm sorry for being so rude. So yeah, point number 1 for PvP. Oh, also before we get into point number 1, I'm gonna show some examples after I list all 3 of my points. So yeah, point number 1 for PvP, patience. Patience is a fucking virtue in DB Legends. Trust me, I should know this, because there are cases where you just want to sit there and wait and see what your opponent does and then react to whatever your opponent does. Whether it be vanish, blast through their strike card, blast through their blast card with your blast armor. Use like stop, like you know, whatever you like, reacting to your what opponent does. And what really helps with patience is popping your green card. If you know your green card is just an animation, it's not an AoE, it's not dashing forward, it's just your character posing or screaming and charging up or some shit. It's nice because then you're stopping the time in the game, and if your opponent was doing an excellent, like if you see an exclamation point, that means your opponent's doing something, and then you can react to whatever your opponent was doing. Damn, what a cough. Same thing with your main ability. That's why some people save their main ability. They'll use it as a stop time to see what their opponent's doing. But you don't have to do any of that. You can also just be patient. And I'll demonstrate like some places where I could have used patience later in like in my PvP matches. Second thing, try to read your opponent, because generally your opponent will have a pattern, whether it be like every time they vanish, they straight up just go and attack right away. They vanish, they do two side steps. Whether they, okay, let me rephrase it. Whether they, when you attack them, they vanish and then they immediately go for attack, or when you vanish on them, they'll try to wait to see what you're doing and then they'll sidestep themselves, or the second that you vanish, they immediately go for an attack. Things like that. You want to try to read your opponent and know what they do. So for example, if you know that once you vanish, your opponent is immediately going to attack and not sidestep out of nervousness, then what you should do is immediately attack as well. So either you clash or you gain priority because they just weren't expecting you to go right away, because they thought that, oh, he'll just wait for me to sidestep, but in that case, I'll just go ahead and hit him, right? Or maybe they tap every time after you vanish their attack. So meaning in that case, what you want to do is back up, and while they're in the tap animation and they tap their screen multiple times instead of tapping it once, they're stuck in the tapping animation, and then you can just hit them with a strike card, boom, you gain priority. So knowing how to read your opponent and how your opponent generally does things after like you do a certain action, knowing their reactions to your actions is a nice thing, so you can like mind game their ass. And point number 3 is know your kit. This is, I'm not joking here, this is a nice thing to know, because there's been incidents where I know Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has cover change notification. Sometimes I'll forget that you have to proc his green card for that to happen. So I'll just be doing a combo thinking, oh, they can't swap in because I have cover change notification, and my cut like that, their cover change animation plays. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I remember, oh, it's only on his green card. And it lasts for 10 timer counts. So yeah, knowing the kit of not only like knowing your own character's kit is nice, so you don't get confused. Like knowing what the hell they do on their main ability, knowing what their green card does, all that shit, knowing what they do when they swap in and what they swap out, just knowing what your units can do is nice. And as an additional point, 3.1, try to know what your opponent does. I mean, what your opponent's kit does for the characters that they're using. I don't expect everyone to know what every single person's kit does. For me, it's easier because I've been playing this game since day one, so I generally just know what a person's kit does, and for like the most recent units. But knowing at least what one person does is nice. So with that being said, let's hop into the judging section where I point out things that are going to be nice and things like mistakes that I've made, how to counteract them, and any other tips I can give out. So let's start over. I think the first match has something, so let's start with that. So here we are at the first match, and the first thing I want to point out is be good at clashes. Don't do what I just did right there, because that was some hot ass. So just know that I'm pretty sure the clash bar lasts up to 3 times. So it hit the ceiling once, go back down, hit the ceiling twice, go back down, and then it'll do one last time before that's it. You can't do it no more. So here we are at a different point, and this is where I want to talk about type striking, because as you can hear, I over tapped. So what over tapping is when you tap your screen more than once after your opponent has vanished. Because generally what you want to do is tap once. If it hits, keep tapping your screen. If it doesn't hit, good, you only tap once, giving you a chance to vanish. So that's why over tapping can fuck you over and allow your opponent to continue a combo on you. This is a good example as to why patience is a good thing. Because as you see right there, he was charging, I go for the blast card, he vanishes, I try to float up and then sidestep so I can vanish myself. Didn't work out. I don't know if I fucked up, but if I fucked it up, or I simply couldn't have done it. Had I just waited, what could have happened that after him charging, either A, he sidesteps and I could like go in for the attack because he's stuck in a sidestepping animation, or B, he goes for an attack, I sidestep, and then he sidesteps out of nervousness, and B, and then I catch him off guard, or C, he attacks, I sidestep, and I immediately go in for the attack. So either way, had I just waited, I could have gained priority over that man. So yeah, patience is a virtue. So following up on my last point, he attacks, I vanish, he sidesteps, I go for the attack, but you see, he vanished. Reason being is that when someone sidesteps, you only have a small window of time where you can go for an attack before they're out of their sidestepping animation are allowed to do another one. So I, for the most part, like 8 out of 10 times can I actually land a strike card. I'm trying to push it up to 9 out of 10 times because obviously 9 is a bigger number than 8. So yeah. Here is something very important to talk about: rising rushes. So when you go for a strike card and you get too close to your opponent, they can go ahead for a rising rush and you can't do shit about it. Now here's the thing: if you're doing a blast card from long range and your opponent times their rising rush wrong, you can still vanish by dashing up quickly and then hitting the side. And as you can see, I fucking guessed his bitch ass, so hot. So I quickly want to talk about this little goofy gooby here. As you can see, he does a blast card. I go for, well, no, he does a tap blast. I go for the blast card because generally if you do it fast enough, you can hit them, but he vanishes. But then he goes for his green card as I'm doing a strike. Now, generally green cards do overpower strikes, but since he did it so late, my strike overpowered his, and then I fucking killed him with I killed him with my ultimate. Also, I hope all you ladies and gals heard that, because if you notice, while pressing my main ability, I heard Goku go and that was him sidestepping despite me not being able to see him in the sidestepping animation yet. Which is an important thing, because playing this game with sound is important, because if you pop your main or your green card and you hear your opponent go for a sidestep, that allows you to just get a free combo off, because while they're in their sidestepping animation, they can't like suddenly vanish. They would have to try to quickly sidestep again. And so yeah, it's a useful thing to know. Also, as you can see here, I got into a sidestepping match with my opponent. I was still sidestepping while he goes for a strike card because he timed it right, gets me into a combo. It doesn't matter though, I'm type advantage anyways. But yeah, generally when you're in a sidestepping match with your opponent, what you want to do is not go over 2 sidesteps. Because from what I've noticed from watching videos in my own personal experience, at most people will do 2, maybe 3 sidesteps, and then that's when they'll decide to attack. So what you want to do is you want to sit there, let them sidestep, and if they go for another one, you hit them while they're stuck in the animation. Or if they go for an attack, you sidestep, maybe they'll panic vanish, or maybe you perfect vanish them, and that allows you to attack them back. So here we are at the second match. Why? Because I sidestepped this man's attack and then boom, catch him in his sidestep doing using a strike card, and then for some reason I accidentally dropped my combo, but that's not important. So here we are further into the fight, and this is where knowing your opponent's kit is important, because if you know, or if you didn't know, I guess, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, that Revival Blue Goku, pulls a green card when he uses his main. And then, so obviously he swaps into Zamasu, pops his green card, and what Zamasu's green card does is, it's an AoE that also locks you in. And so I guess what he wanted to do was lock my ass in, and then proceed to use a Rising Rush, which he does successfully. And I think, did I guess him? Oh, 2 in a row, baby! Okay, we're even further into the match. I'm knocked it, man, to this Revival. I use my main ability. As you can see there, Goku was floating, so I presumed, oh, he sidestepped. But here's the thing, remember, audio is important because I was blasting music while recording this. So I didn't hear him sidestep, I just assumed he sidestepped, so I went for the blue card, because if you catch someone in a sidestep while throwing out your blue card, it will hit. So yeah, audio is important, kids. I should have mentioned that at the start of the video, but whatever. So I wanted to include this clip in the video, not because it's important, but just look at this bullshit. I get 997. What does he get? 998. Oh my fucking god, bro. I got so upset when I saw that shit. Alright, so as we see here, I tap blast, Goku does nothing. I go for the blast card, he goes for the Rising Rush. Some people would assume in danger. I knew I wasn't because he did that Rising Rush too late. Had he did it I think like a second or two earlier, he would have had it, but his bitch ass didn't. Boo-hoo. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. I recorded 4 matches, all of which I won. Oh, you want the receipts? Here it is. So yeah, now I'm just flexing off Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's LF. Yeah, this is the end of the video. I think I already mentioned that. I forgot. Yeah, I hope this helped, at least to an extent. But just the best thing to do to get better is really just watch over all your matches, see where you fucked up, and then try to think about how you could have corrected your own mistakes. That's the best advice I could give. So yeah, with that being said, play the outro.